So let's go ahead and disassemble this Mossberg 510 Super Bantam. To start with, we're just going to make sure that we're empty because we don't want to disassemble a loaded firearm. We're going to pull the bolt back a little bit, so you might have to push that button in there just to pull it back a little bit. And then we can just start unscrewing at the top here. Pull the barrel off. There's our locking recess, that big square guy right on the top there. That's what the bolt actually locks against. These cutouts on the side here for the ejector and whatnot. So we can put that off to the side for now. Next, we're going to push this trigger pin out here. Trigger group pin. It holds the trigger group in. We're just going to use a punch. Should be easy. We're just going to push on the side of it, and it should just pop right out the other side. Now we can pull that trigger group out. So I'm just going to grab it here and pull out the trigger group. Next, we need to do some stuff on the inside here. So one of the things is take all those metal pieces out there that kind of fit along the sides. So you can just wiggle those and they should just pop out of there. And there's our next piece right there. And then we have to take that carrier out, and there's only really a couple spots that it can come out. One spot it can come out. You see this ledge here starts here and ends there. That carrier needs to fit through there. So I think I've got it right there. It should just pop right out. There it goes. Next, that was actually what was engaging against this pump, so we can pull that off. We can move the bolt just a little bit to the front, and then we can take this lifter here, pull it up, pinch it, and what that's going to do is pull it out of the slots. It's got pins that engage on both sides. So we should be able to, oh, I need to move my bolt out of the way a little bit more. And then I can press that and pull it out. There we go. And that's what was engaging with those holes there. The bolt's just kind of like wobbling around in there. I should be able to just carefully get it out. And there we go. It's not really much going on the inside now. You can see that it's very easy to clean this out. If I really, really super wanted to, I could take off this ejector by pulling that screw off and pulling it off, but I really wouldn't recommend doing that. I could also pull the butt off here, and there's going to be a big bolt that goes into the receiver. I don't really need to do that either, so who cares? Let's not do that. This is where I would put the dowel in to pin this to 2 if I was going to take it to waterfowl hunting. I'm not, so I'm just going to leave the dowel out. I don't need any oil on the trigger group. I'm just going to put a touch on the face of the hammer here because that's going to just see a little bit of resistance as the bolt rides over that to reset that hammer back down. As well, I'm going to oil the carrier just right here where it engages with the bolt. Inside the bolt here, we can see those two, and that's where this is that square lug that engages in with that barrel. So I'd like to just get a little bit of oil on some of these surfaces that have to bear against each other. And I can put that in there, and maybe it'll be a bit smoother. All right, let's start reassembling. So first things first, I'm going to take the bolt, and I'm going to put that in with the extractors, rather, facing forward where they should go. And I'm just going to wiggle that in there. And that looks about where it needs to be. Next, I'm going to grab my lifter, and I need it with that tongue facing that away, so like that. I'm going to pinch those two together, put it in, and get it into the holes. There we go. Now I should be able to push it down and around the bolt so that bolt is kind of being held in by it. Next, I'm going to put the pumpy stuff on there. You can see it doesn't really want to go in there. You need to push it down until it fits into the slots. I need 2 hands for this. There we go. And now it wants to go in. I might still need to push down on those as I wiggle it into place. Now for this next part, what I'm going to need to do is I need the slots on here to line up with that slide and engage on there, and it needs to land into this bolt in the right spot as well. So I'm just going to try to line up where I think that should all go. And then I'm going to get that carrier, and I'm going to slide it into that slot that it can be for. And Hopefully I can get it. Oh, there we go. I think I've got it. I think I got it. So if I pull back on here and I've got it in the right spot, the lifter, yeah, the lifter is starting to come up there. And if I pull forward, the lifter will go down. Oh, I lost it off the slide there. So I've got the pump engaged, I've got the carrier, and I've got the bolt on top there as well. Next, I've got to put the little middle pieces in the side. That's kind of easy. There's a pinhole there, and that's going to match up with this one right here. And my forks are going to kind of go in as they go to the front here. So I'm going to go ahead, get that back on there. I'm just going to push that forward just to get that bolt held on and retained by something. And then we're going to stick that guy in there. And I'm just kind of holding it on the side there. And it wants to come out. There's nothing holding it in right now, so just got to be careful to kind of let gravity hold it in there. Next, I'm going to need my second part. So again, I'm curving the fingers in, and I find a spot for it. That other piece just fell out, didn't it? Now, to keep this whole thing in place, what I need to do is get this trigger group to hold it. So I'm holding the this side because that steel piece wants to come out. I'm going to grab my trigger group, and it kind of grabs on the front here a little bit. So I'm going to grab it in place there. I've got it in place right there. Now I can lever it down and click it into place. Now those steel pieces don't want to come out. Finally, I line that pin in there, and I push this pin in through the hole that I just witnessed there. Make sure that my bolt isn't all the way forward. I need it a little bit back. Grab my barrel, get it in through that hole there. Line up that bolt with the magazine tube and start screwing it in. And then finally function test it. I'm going to push it all the way forward, make sure that the safety's on, test the safety to see if it'll work, take the safety off, press the trigger, pull it back, should lock, test the lockout. So everything seems to be working correctly on this shotgun. I'm just going to